So when I was a kid, I would show off and trade Pokemon cards to the school playground. Now, we didn't know that there was an actual game to it, so we just came up with our own rules for attacks and such. It mostly consisted of both Pokemon attacking each other at once and seeing what would come out on top. Of course, most people just use Charizards, Gyarados, or some legendary like Dialga or Palkia. But there was one person who always won at the time. He had a Celebi Prime, which, if you see here, its attack makes it immune to Stage 1 and Stage 2s, and since most people just use Charizards and Gyaradoses, they just lost on the spot. Now, for Christmas that year, I got a Pokemon tin with a Giratina level X on it. Here's my actual card, it's over here, but its ability says that it's immune to damage unless they discard a card from their hand. Now, we didn't know what that meant in the slightest, so we just assumed it was all immune to damage. Now, I finally defeated the kid with the Celebi Prime and was named the champion, but Pokemon cards were banned very shortly after that because people kept stealing them. So no one ever got my title. However, I'm an adult now and know the actual rules of the game. So I set out to create the perfect deck. I wanted a deck of cards that could access every single card within it in one single turn. So I did. I created a deck that could access every single card within it in a single turn. The design of the deck becomes a game of which item cards can take the most amount of cards out of the deck. You only have to remove the other 47 cards after the game starts. We start with 4 Trekking Shoes and 4 Gutsy Pickaxe, which can remove up to 12 cards from the deck. Then we go with Battle VIP Pass for Pokemon Search because the first turn condition doesn't matter if we only get one turn to begin with. As for Pokemon, we have 4 Comfey because each flower selecting ability can remove 2 cards from the deck. Radiant Greninja is used for concealed cards, which also removes 2 cards from the deck. Squawkabilly's ability can remove up to 6 cards from the deck, and then we have Raikou V for a few reasons I'll specify later. Now we use Pokestop for a stadium because it removes 3 cards from deck, and then Professor Research because it could remove 7 cards from the deck. And then we have Cramomatics. Every Cramomatic has a 50% chance of getting a card out of the deck, so that's an average of 2 per game because I run 4. Now if you add all those up, you can get 38 cards out of the deck. Now how do we get the other 9 cards out of the deck, you may ask? And that's where Raikou comes in. Now by itself, Raikou doesn't seem all that impressive. It can only draw 1 card out of the deck. However, with 4 Sealstone, it can get a 2nd card out of the deck. Now you may be wondering, why not run Suicune or Entei, who do the exact same things? Now this is where Raikou's lightning type becomes very important. Electric Generator is a card that can take up to 2 lightning energies out of the deck and attach them to your electric type Pokemon, which allows Raikou to take up to 10 cards out of the deck. Put in a few Ultra Balls, a few Pokegears, and a Pyukumuku, and you have yourself a deck that can access every card in one turn. There's only one issue. It's not perfect. Chromatics can fail, Electric Generators can miss, and the margin of error is so thin that the deck only works about 40% of the time. If only there was a way to play with a larger variety of cards. The expanded format is a place where all forms of logic go to die. The variety of decks that are playable is limitless, and the card combinations are infinite. But within this chaos is where I shall achieve perfection. With the before-mentioned Comphase, Radiant Greninja, Squawkabilly, and we pair that with a Dedenne, we can already take 20 cards out of the deck. We can also add Scoop Up Net so we can reuse each Comphase to take another additional 8 cards out of the deck. With Trekking Shoes and Gutsy Pickaxes taking another 12 out of the deck, we're already at 40 cards. And for new cards, we have Acrobike, Lost Splendor, and Judge Whistle, which can take another 16 out of the deck. With Pokestop and Speed Energy, which draws 2 cards, and we have a deck that can easily get every single card out of it in a single turn. Because of all the cards available, supporter cards aren't even needed, so you can go first and still access the entire deck without issue. Finally, perfection.